I first met Eva when we were both 17, still navigating the ups and downs of high school life. A couple of years later, we ended up at different universities, but by the time we were 19, we decided to take a big step, move in together. We found a cozy apartment to rent and started building our little world. At that point, I was juggling both studying and working while she had a part-time job. Things seemed to be going great until she brought up the idea of working at a hotel for the summer. Her aunt, the owner of an unusual hotel, offered her a temporary job. The job was pretty simple, running errands and occasionally helping with room cleaning. She didn't require much money, the pay was decent, and working for her aunt was a dream. Plus, the proximity to the sea, well, that was the highlight. One day, she turned to me and asked, "Do you think I should go?" Without hesitation, I answered, "If that's what you want, go ahead. I'll take a short vacation later and join you as soon as my exams are over. Then we can enjoy the sea together." So she set off, planning to stay with her aunt for about 6 weeks and schedule her return for the end of August. Unfortunately, I had a busy schedule, so it took me a month to join her. When I finally got there, I booked a small room next to her hotel for the few days I had to spend there. The moment we saw each other again, I could tell something was off. We'd been together long enough for me to notice even the slightest changes, and this was more than subtle. She seemed happy to see me, sure, but there was an undeniable distance in her mannerisms, a coolness I couldn't ignore. On top of that, I noticed she had a bunch of new clothes and accessories. She even asked, "What do you think of my updated wardrobe?" I told her it looked great, but I didn't press further. I'd never been one to micromanage her spending or question our finances, and I wasn't about to start. That evening, we decided to have dinner at a quaint little restaurant near the hotel. At first, it felt like old times. We laughed, talked, and everything seemed fine. But then, out of nowhere, her expression changed completely. It was as if something or someone had unsettled her. Concerned, I leaned in and asked, "Are you okay?" She hesitated for a moment before replying, "I just need a minute to myself. I'll be right back." And with that, she got up and walked off, leaving me sitting there confused. After waiting for what felt like an eternity, but was probably only about 5 minutes, I decided to check on her. As I approached the restrooms, I froze. There she was, deep in conversation with a man I didn't recognize. The way they interacted wasn't casual. It felt charged, intense. My chest tightened as I stood there, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. I stood quietly behind a decorative screen, tucked away from their line of sight, but I could see and hear everything crystal clear. The air between them was heavy with tension as their conversation unfolded, a mix of frustration and resentment. "Please just leave me alone. My husband is here," she said, her voice strained with irritation. Alan, unbothered, pressed on. "So that's it? No more meetings? What about the restaurants, the gifts, the clothes? What am I supposed to do now?" "It's over, Alan," she snapped. "It was fun while it was going on, but my husband is here now. What do you want from me? Summer is almost over, and I'm leaving. You knew it was temporary." Hearing those words, I couldn't hold back any longer. I stepped out from behind the screen, catching Alan completely off guard. The look of shock on his face said it all. "Oh," he muttered, recovering quickly. "So you're the boyfriend she's been talking about." His tone turned cold, eyes narrowing in a mix of defiance and disdain. What followed was nothing short of a humiliating exchange. I learned that she'd been spending nearly every evening that summer with Alan, the owner of a nearby cafe. With his free evenings and easy access to money, he'd been taking her out, showering her with gifts, and even updating her wardrobe. It was obvious Alan wasn't thrilled by my unexpected arrival. And as for her, she made a weak attempt to downplay the situation, but it was too late for damage control. I couldn't take it anymore. Without saying a word, I turned around and walked away. My decision had already been made. I was leaving earlier than planned. When I got back home, I didn't waste any time. I packed up all her belongings and delivered them straight to her parents' house. I had no intention of staying in that apartment, so I started hunting for a new place immediately. Toward the end of August, she began trying to reach out to me, but by then I had already moved into a different apartment. Her calls and texts went unanswered, and soon enough I blocked her number entirely. She even showed up at my workplace once, but I refused to engage. Eventually, she seemed to get the message. There was no fixing what had been broken. As for her and Alan, well, it didn't take a genius to figure out that things didn't work out between them. Where she is now or what she's doing, I have no clue and no interest in finding out. Betrayal is a line I can't cross back over. Looking back, there were no warning signs, no red flags that could have prepared me for what happened. Why she made the choices she did, I'll never understand, and honestly, I don't care to. I've moved on and built a life far removed from all that drama. If I could offer one piece of advice to anyone reading this, it would be this. If you send your girlfriend or wife off somewhere alone, pay attention. Trust is important, but blind trust, it could land you in the same position I found myself in. So guys, if you all liked today's story, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you for watching.